2 minutes till broadcast. One minute till broadcast. Thirty seconds till broadcast. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Begin transmission.
Fighting for freedom every day.
Let me tell you, the response to the show has been absolutely amazing. People can't believe that a young conservative millennial continues to fight for constitutional principles, traditional values, and talks about issues that some are even afraid to talk about. But we do it because we understand the importance of this, and now we're seeing it absolutely blow up all across the nation.
This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Yeah, buddy, that's what I'm talking about. It is a Wednesday here on the Voice of Reason. Thanks for hanging out with us today, all over the place, broadcasting live out of the heart of the nation here in Wichita, Kansas, all over the nation on radio, TV, live streaming on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitter, Twitch, LinkedIn. Also on the website at HooserReason.com. Make sure to check us out there as we got a lot of things today. It's one of those days where I am absolutely baffled. Absolutely baffled. Did you see the tweets that were going on last night from President Donald Trump? Did you see the news that's been breaking? And yet, well, I would say this. The story that's actually out there that should be breaking, but yet none of the media is actually covering it. I can't believe it. It boggles my mind. We'll get to that in just a second. Welcome into the show. We got a lot to get to today. I am excited as we are just a month away, less than a month away from election time. And as we follow different candidates all over the nation, it's really great to see. I have never seen so many Trump flags, so many Trump signs, so many engaged people throwing signs or flags out in their yard, driving by, having parades. There was a story out of Nebraska where the city of Omaha is getting flack because police didn't stop an unpermitted parade that was going down the street. Now, you don't need usually you need a permit if you're like standing in one location. They weren't. They had Trump flags on their motorcycles, on their trucks, on their vehicles, and they were driving through town as a vehicle parade, and now they're getting flack because the police didn't stop them and they should have gotten a permit. That's how crazy people are right now getting into this election. It's wild. I've never seen anything like this before. As a campaign manager for a local state representative here in the Kansas area, again, the number of people that I'm seeing politically engaged is absolutely mind-boggling. And yet they try to say that there's just no momentum on the right side of the aisle. There's no momentum. I don't get it. Doesn't make any sense to me. Welcome into the show. We have a lot to get to today. I want to talk about the latest out of D.C., the news that was breaking yesterday, and the fact that the media is not covering it, and what this actually means. This could be huge. As Donald Trump would say, this could be bigly. It could be bigly. It could be huge. Believe me, it could be great. The greatest you'll ever see in your entire life. We'll get to that here in just a second. But as we cover election season,
Election 2020.
yeah, buddy, we love to try and get candidates on from all over the country, and we have a lot of, we don't have a radio station in the area yet, but we have a lot of downloads in the area of the podcast, so we appreciate that very much. But he is a candidate going into the 3rd Congressional District for the great state of New York. I'm happy to have on the program Mr. George Santos here with us here. George, how are you, my friend?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me.
Hey, I appreciate you coming on the show. It is a great time right now, I think, to be running for office, for one, because, like I said, I've never seen this type of momentum, energy for a political season before. And with all the crazy news, I think we're going to see multiple quote-unquote October surprises going into this election. So talk about your district for a second. Where is the 3rd District of New York, and how's the campaign going so far? How you feeling going into the last few weeks?
So, well, a lot of questions. Let's go one at a time. So, essentially, the district covers the North Shore of Long Island and northern eastern Queens. So essentially it is a New York City, partially it's a New York City and a Long Island district. It covers 3 counties, Queens County, Nassau County, and Suffolk County. And I always make this joke, you might know my district because there's a couple of known people who live in it, such as Sean Hannity, Rupert Murdoch, Anthony Scaramucci, and those are the type of guys living in the district. So it's a very interesting, diverse district, from your very well-known folks to your very middle-class working family people. And there's a very interesting, diversified Hispanic population in the Suffolk portion of it in Huntington. So, look, another famous person that a lot of people know, my district it's the birthplace of Mariah Carey. It has a castle called Oheka Castle. Ooh. So, I think I'm blessed to say the least that it's a very fun place to live in. It's a very fun place to represent. And, I'm super pumped because 2020 has been proven to be the year of it is what it is. So it is what it is to the extent of there's crazy energy out there. Like, my base is absolutely fired up. I hear Democrats on a daily basis come up to me and say, I'm so glad you're running. You're so young and energetic, and you're everything the American dream represents. Yeah. And they're talking largely about the fact that I'm first-generation born American, and I'm 32 years old. And, nobody would have told me when I was a little kid living in Queens that one day I'd become an executive in a finance firm and that I'd have a college and a college degree and an MBA, along with running for U.S. Congress. Right, and that wasn't in the odds were stacked against me, right, essentially. And the fact that I've accomplished all of that through hard work, and now I'm able to throw my hat in the ring and go fight for Americans and for the future of all the other generations to come of American dreamers, of the American dream, is absolutely fulfilling. Like, I feel like winning this race will be the cherry on top. I'm polling ahead. It's a great experience. I got to tell you, the energy on the ground, once we were able to walk again, phenomenal. People are excited. People want to talk to you. I quite frankly think COVID, to an extent, for reminding us about the little things in life, like human contact. Yeah. Right? Because prior to that, here in New York, we were a very cold society. And now we've become a compassionate, warm society, which appreciates human contact. So I think that if I always look at the bright side of everything, no matter how bad it is, and I know it's horrible. A friend of mine, her father just the other day actually crash landed a seaplane in my district in Whitestone, Queens. It's easy to Google up seaplane crashes in Queens, New York, and he lived. I said, look, you guys are like upset that he got hurt and all of that. Let's talk about the fact that he crashed the plane and he's alive. Right. Like, that's amazing. I always try to look at the bright side of things. So, that's 2020 for you. The energy's great. People are great. The base is excited. Oh man, I can't wait to go to D.C. and help Donald Trump get us back on track and boom our economy again. I have the experience to do it, and I'm looking forward to putting my 11 years of finance work to work for the country. Well, I have to say that, first off, it's a great success story. This is the American dream that you're living. As you mentioned, a first-generation born American coming here and running and being part of finance and having that background, having a degree, being able to run for U.S. Congress. That's the American dream right there. That's what the progressives, the other side of the aisle, says is unattainable, especially
for a Hispanic or an African American or someone of a minority descent that there's no way you can do that. It's just the society's fault that just keeps you down, and that's what they hear, and that's probably what they're trying to tell you on the streets, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, I grew up in AOC's district. The prior congressman to her, he wasn't best, but I rather him tenfold over AOC.
Yes.
Please come back, Joe Crowley, wherever you are. But no, essentially, I grew up in that district, and I know the district fairly well. I know AOC's opponent very well, John Cummings, great guy. All I can say to you is everything she says is so not true, and I can't say this any more simple. She's a liar. Mm-hmm. She does not know a thing about Queens, a thing about Jackson Heights, where she likes to act like she's Jenny from the block, but she wouldn't even know where the block is if she was told to look for it.
Right.
She comes from an affluent family in Westchester County, just north of her district. She went to an all-girls school up there, and she pretends like people believe the nonsense that comes out of her mouth. And what's more important to me is, I say this all the time, America's most famous socialist is a millionaire with 3 homes. And you know who said that originally?
Who's that? Michael
Bloomberg during the presidential debates. He turned around to Bernie Sanders and said, the most incredible thing about America, you got to love this country.
That's
its
right.
most well-known socialist is a millionaire with 3 homes.
Yeah, that's true. It's sad, but it's so true, and that's what they try to propagate. And I still love our favorite clip of the entire, I don't even know if I have it with me right now. The best clip that she has is still her going after the garbage disposal, and we play that quite often here on the program. But these are the type of individuals that we need to counter, and the fact that I'm with you. I'm a millennial myself. I mean, we're younger. We're trying to represent the proper way of this generation, and she's the type that ends up abusing that and ends up giving us a bad reputation day in and day out. So talk about your platform a little bit. What got you to want to run for this seat, and what, if you get into Washington, D.C., what would you want to work on?
So essentially, as I say to everybody, and it's funny because today, I don't know why, but everybody wanted to talk to me today. So this is my fifth interview of the day.
I love
it. It's great. It's busy. It's busy. People want to hear what's going on. So I love the fact that I can share my story. I hope some younger generation person is listening and might feel inspired. Sometimes life throws rocks at you, and you gotta believe that everything happens for a reason, and I truly believe that. So anyway, so long story short, my platform is as simple as it gets. It's pro-law and order, jobs in the economy, and the safety and future of our children. It doesn't get more simple than that. I'm from the suburbs in New York City, right? So who am I kidding? The most important thing to us living in the suburbs, the reason we live in the suburbs, is we want law and order, peace and quiet, quality education, and we want to make sure that our children are safe in a safe environment. This nonsense of defund the police and, Black Lives Matter, it's not popular. It's not popular where I'm from. It's not popular in New York City at large. It might be popular in Brooklyn and Manhattan and, somewhat in the Bronx, but it's not as popular here in Queens. It's definitely not popular in Long Island. And the constituencies and the communities in my district, we all agree with that. We pay expensive taxes. We work very hard. Everybody that lives in this district has worked very hard in their life to be able to give their children a better future than theirs, right? And that's how I live my life. I live my life in the fact of I will do better for my kids than my parents did for me. And I got to tell you, my parents came a long way, to give me a very comfortable upbringing of a middle-class kid to a union laborer and an upcoming finance professional. That was my mom, may God rest her soul. But, that's what I'm running on. I'm running on keeping our suburbs safe, keeping our suburbs high quality for our children. The future of America is not in metropolitan cities alone. They're also in the suburbs. A lot of times people say that the future of America live in Chicago, New York City. Yes, they are the future of America, too, in the big cities. But what about us in the suburbs? Do we just not get counted for just because we live a little more secluded? It's just, I don't get it. I don't understand how politicians like Bill de Blasio and Andrew Cuomo can get away with it. And you see the Michigan governor, Governor Gretchen, like these people and their tyrannical ways, it's nuts. So my
Yeah.
platform essentially covers the common sense agenda, as I call it. I have the common sense agenda. I'm the guy who gets it, right? And going to Washington, my first and absolute things I'd love to work on, but the first 100 days, I want to put forward legislation to protect our law enforcement officers on a federal level, protect their information, protect, their lives. And also, I want to institute education reform. Our curriculum is so devastated. It's so bad.
Sure.
The reason our children are misinformed and these young minds are out in the streets protesting and
I tell you what,
looting and rioting.
Hey, George, we got to take a hard time break here. Can you stick over one more segment with us? I'd love to continue this conversation with you.
Absolutely.
Very good. Hang tight here. We'll get you here in just a second. We got to take a break. George Santos, the 3rd Congressional District there in the state of New York. You can visit him online, George4NY, george4ny.com, and get all the information. We'll continue with him when we come back here on The Voice of Reason on a Wednesday. Stay right here.
The Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Hey, it's Andy Hooser with The Voice of Reason. Fighting for conservative principles seems more difficult all the time. The progressive left seems to find new and creative ways to limit freedom, abuse power, and trample the Constitution each and every day. That's why we need the knowledge, resources, and common sense to push back, and we can help with that. Visit our website at HooserReason.com. There's some really great stuff for you. You can read the latest blog discussing topical issues and current events. Let us know your thoughts by filling out our monthly survey. Keep track of what I might be doing or where I may be speaking. Listen to the podcast of your favorite guest or show, and check out our latest Voice of Reason product infomercials. Plus, you can find upcoming show schedules and guest lineups to plan your radio listening appropriately. And finally, make sure to become a Hoosier-holic by subscribing to the free newsletter. Stay up to date on the latest news of the show, fun facts of the month, and learn new ways to defend and preserve this great republic. It's all there at HooserReason.com. Again, HooserReason.com. Go check it out. Why? Because it's kind of the reasonable thing to do. Hey, it's Andy Hooser. Want to reach out to the show? A big part of the program is you, and we want to hear from you. Let us know your thoughts of the show, maybe a guest we've had on the program, or my favorite, when you disagree with something that I talk about. You can email me at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com or send us a message through our website at HooserReason.com. The show's not about me, it's about you. So be heard and be your own voice of reason. Again, email me at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com or find our contact information at HooserReason.com. Missed part of the show? Don't worry about it. There's plenty of ways to catch the program, and here's how you can do it. First, make sure to tune in every day right here on your favorite radio station. We're here for you. Second, subscribe to the podcast on any of your favorite sites. YouTube and iTunes, Spotify and Google Play, TuneIn, Podbean, and more. Have the show automatically downloaded to your favorite device. Last, visit our website at HooserReason.com. You can listen to the podcast, catch our special features, and more. It's the Voice of Reason on radio, TV, and online, helping you defend and preserve this great republic. Hey, it's Andy Hooser with The Voice of Reason. The show's growing all the time, and as we talk about the big issues of the day, one of the big parts of the program is you. And I want you to join us on the program. Whether you agree, disagree, or just want to relieve some of that political frustration, we're here for you. No matter where you may be watching, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, go ahead and leave a comment on the live stream. Chat with other listeners and let me know your thoughts on the topic. Also chat with us on the Podbean chat room. Just go to our live stream of the show at podbean.com and chat with other listeners. You can also call into the program. Just download the Podbean app onto your smartphone, join the live stream, and call in through the app. This is your show, and we want to hear your thoughts. So go ahead and join us here on The Voice of Reason and the Hooser Media Network. Hey, miss a show? Don't worry about it. You have plenty of opportunities to watch, listen, learn, and be entertained with The Voice of Reason anytime you want. And here's how you can do it. First, become a Hoosier-holic by going to HooserReason.com and signing up for the show newsletter to get the latest on the show, upcoming guests, topical discussions, and more. Next, subscribe to the podcast and have the show automatically downloaded to any platform you like to use. You can subscribe to any of your favorite platforms with iTunes and Spotify, Google Play and TuneIn, or you can also go and subscribe directly to our Podbean website. Last, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Just go to youtube.com, search Hooser Reason, and subscribe to watch all of our shows, videos, and get notified whenever we're live. All the links and info are at HooserReason.com.
For a schedule of upcoming guests on the program, daily show topics, or to reach out to the Hooser Media Network, visit us on the website at HooserReason.com. Or for general inquiries, to be a guest on the program, or to have Andy a guest on your program, email us at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com. Keep fighting for freedom with us every day right here on the Voice of Reason and the Hooser Media Network. Now, back to the show.
You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Yes, you are. Welcome back into the Voice of Reason. Great to have you today for the ride. Doing the thing that we do each and every day. Radio, TV, live streaming, podcasting. Doesn't really matter. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Got a lot to get to today. We're talking with George Santos. George for NY.com. George for NY.com. The 3rd Congressional District in the great state of New York, and the Republican conservative candidate for that. And George, by the way, I was looking over the break. I was looking at the district makeup in some of the recent elections. This is one of the seats that Democrats took back in 2018 in the midterm election because it looks like Congressman Peter King, the Republican, had that for a long while prior to that. So this is a seat that we need to get back into the Republican seats. And I think with the momentum from the Trump supporters, the Republican side, I think that's very doable. And if we start swinging seats back to the Republican side here, we could maybe take back a majority in the House. What do you think?
Well, you're just talking. You're speaking on a great point. So the path to taking back the majority of the House is essentially New York, California, Texas, New Jersey, and Florida. Right? Those are the states that we can take back the majority. There's potential 4 pickups here in New York. 4 takebacks, as I call them.
Sure. Yeah.
There's 4 in California. I think there's 6 in Florida, and there's 4 in Texas. That is our path to taking back the House. It fits in very simply put, 5 states, and this is one of them. This is a seat we can definitely pick up back and go to the majority. I'm polling ahead in the district because I'm the law enforcement candidate. I have all the endorsements from our police unions, with the exception of one. But even then, I support them, and I guess sometimes you got to make strategic decisions to not endorse in a specific election, especially if it's contentious and you don't want to hurt future relationships in case it doesn't go my way. So I respect them. I respect them a lot, for their positioning. But it's an amazing opportunity. I'm very honored to be the Republican conservative candidate, first-born generation American, proud to be a Republican, proud to be an American, with the backing of law and order and the backing of labor unions and the backing of Congressman Lee Zeldin, which has been an amazing supporter of mine. So this just makes me that much prouder to be running with all these great supporters behind me. And I wake up every day. I fight as hard as I can, and I give my 110%, and I will give my 210% in Congress. And that's a commitment I made with my constituents, and that's a commitment I make with America. No games, no gimmicks, no politicking. It's facts, straight talk, and I will get the job done.
Amen to that. No, I love it. We got just about a minute or so left before we have to let you go for the bottom of the hour. But when you knock on the doors, when you talk to people, you had mentioned the law and order, which I think a lot of people are really fired up about, especially in that area, because New York City itself has been kind of target to the defunding of the police movement and the Antifa and some of the riled up crowds there. When you're knocking on those doors, is that the priority of people that you've heard from so far, or is it just to keep Democrats from having the majority? What's been the big topical issue when you knock on the doors and talk to people?
People are focused on their security. They're scared for their lives, and they don't want to deal with it anymore. And that's it. And they're taking their voices to the polls this time around, and they're going to make it heard. And we're no longer the silent majority. We're the unsilent majority now. Mm-hmm. It is insane how people turn out for all these different events. Just this past Sunday, I was at a Back to Blue rally with over 5,000 people. Sunday, there's another Back to Blue rally. We're estimating 3,000 to 4,000 people in attendance. That is on a Sunday.
Wow. Yeah, that's amazing. I love it. It's George Santos, 3rd Congressional District in the great state of New York. That's going to be a big one. We have to flip back, as you said. We need to retake that one back because we had it under Republican control for a while, and we ended up losing that one, unfortunately, in the midterm. So we need to get you in there. George for NY.com. George for NY.com. Make sure to go and check him out. George, we appreciate it very much for your time. Good luck on the campaign trail. And when you get in there, we need to get you on the show as a regular to kind of give us some updates from Washington, D.C.
I'd love to do that, Andy. I'll take you up on that.
Hey, fantastic.
For
I love
having
it.
me.
Yeah, absolutely. Good luck to you on the campaign trail. We'll try and get you on again here before election time. Right there, that's one we got to flip there in New York. That would be a big seat. Got to take a break. When we come back, we'll shift gears a little bit. The latest news going on nationally. Is it big news, and why the heck isn't the media covering it? We'll do that when we come back. Stay here.
The Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Hey, it's Andy Hooser. While you listen to the delightful broadcast of The Voice of Reason, don't forget to check us out and follow us on all of our social media sites. Whether you're using Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Minds.com, or Instagram, we're there for you. Find us at Hooser Reason on any of your social media platforms. You'll see special commentary, links to the articles and news that we use on the show, and videos of the broadcast. Plus, you can directly send us a message on social media during the show to let me know your thoughts. Many already do, and it's a great chat room for all of our great listeners. And you can always sign up for the Patreon site to get exclusive content, maybe hear show products before we air them on the radio, and a lot more. And when you support us on Patreon, you also help the show be able to fight for conservative values each and every day. So it's a win-win. Just find us at Hooser Reason on all of your social media platforms, or you can find a link to all of our social media sites on our website at HooserReason.com. We know you're on social media already, so bring some reason into your day. Why? Because it's kind of the reasonable thing to do.
The Hooser Media Network is way more than just the voice of reason. It's your source to find numerous different online talk shows, podcasts, TV, and radio programs, all in one simple online location for you. From political talk to health talk to whatever you may be interested in, we're here for you. And I tell you, it's growing every day. Catch Tracy Maxfield with her podcast, Engage, Educate, and Empower, discussing mental health issues in children and teenagers. From bullying, teenage suicide, addiction, ADHD, and so much more, learn from Tracy and her guests about symptoms, signs, and ways to talk to your children, plus so much more. Having battled depression, being the author of the internationally acclaimed book Escaping the Rabbit Hole, and being a retired nurse, Tracy is kind of the go-to on the subject. Make sure to find her on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, along with her website at tracymaxfield.com. Also, make sure to tune into the weekly podcast Jump, Pivot, and Roll with Shannon Stiles and Rachel Murphy. Taking that next big leap of faith is hard. Trying to write a book, maybe struggling with a relationship, looking to take that next big career step. What's stopping you? There's a lot of big questions there, and they're questions that Rachel and Shannon want to help with you each and every week. It's Jump, Pivot, and Roll on any of your favorite podcasting sites and on Facebook and YouTube. All of these shows and a heck of a lot more can be found on the Hooser Media Network Facebook and YouTube channels. Make sure to follow and subscribe to check them out today. Follow all the shows, and if you have any inquiries, check us out at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com. Hey, miss a show? Don't worry about it. You have plenty of opportunities to watch, listen, learn, and be entertained with the Voice of Reason anytime you want. And here's how you can do it. First, become a Hooserholic by going to HooserReason.com and signing up for the show newsletter to get the latest on the show, upcoming guests, topical discussions, and more. Next, subscribe to the podcast and have the show automatically downloaded to any platform you like to use. You can subscribe through any of your favorite platforms with iTunes and Spotify, Google Play and TuneIn, or you can also go and subscribe directly to our Podbean website. Last, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Just go to youtube.com, search Hooser Reason, and subscribe to watch all of our shows, videos, and get notified whenever we're live. All the links and info are at HooserReason.com. Oh, hi. You know, conservative messages now are more important than ever before. Election season, state legislative issues, and a rise in the radical left socialist progressive agenda. What we really need now more than ever before is knowledge and wisdom. That's where we come in. Hi, I'm Andy Hooser with the Voice of Reason. And I'm your voice for reasonable talk, conservative commentary, great guests and entertainment on radio, TV, and the internet. It's time to bring some common sense back into the discussion. National issues, state legislative issues, no matter where you may be, upcoming elections, and a heck of a lot more, we can bring traditional values, constitutional principles, and local activism back. And here's what you can do. First, follow us on all the social media platforms at Hooser Reason. You can watch the live stream of the show, leave comments, and even call into the program. Second, make sure to subscribe to the podcast on all of your audio devices, from iTunes and Spotify to Google Play and TuneIn. Make sure to subscribe to have every episode automatically downloaded so you don't miss a single episode. Third, make sure to visit our website at HooserReason.com. You can catch our monthly blog talking about deeper discussions, see who's coming on the program, plus you can sign up for our free monthly newsletter to catch the latest on the show, monthly topics, upcoming interviews, and more. It's time to be that local activist again. That's what the Voice of Reason's all about. Why? Because that's kind of the reasonable thing to do. And it's time for you to speak up, speak out, speak loud, speak proud, speak the truth, and always speak some reason.
Hey, it's Andy Hooser with the Voice of Reason. The show's growing all the time, and as we talk about the big issues of the day, one of the big parts of the program is you. And I want you to join us on the program. Whether you agree, disagree, or just want to relieve some of that political frustration, we're here for you. No matter where you may be watching, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, go ahead and leave a comment on the live stream. Chat with other listeners and let me know your thoughts on the topic. Also chat with us on the Podbean chat room. Just go to our live stream of the show at podbean.com and chat with other listeners. You can also call into the program. Just download the Podbean app onto your smartphone, join the live stream, and call in through the app. This is your show, and we want to hear your thoughts. So go ahead and join us here on the Voice of Reason and the Hooser Media Network.
When Reason Meets Radio. You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Welcome back into the Voice of Reason. It is a Wednesday. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Radio, TV, live streaming, podcasting, wherever and however you may be watching or listening to the program. We appreciate it very, 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 very much. Make sure to check us out. Follow us on social media at Hooser Reason. Again, no I in Hooser, Hooser. At Hooser Reason on Facebook, YouTube. We're trying to build the YouTube channel right now. We got a lot of shows we do stream on there live every day. You can leave comments. You can check out all the previous shows. Also on the website at HooserReason.com. We do have the Facebook Live as well. Twitter, we are on Parler for the more conservative-minded, oriented social media without any type of infringement upon our right to express ourselves there. So to speak, you can go to Parler, and you can find us again there at Hooser Reason. Also on Minds.com, the other one as well. Don't do a whole lot on those. They don't allow us to do live streaming on there. Not sure why. But until then, we'll try to share posts and have some fun on there as well. So you can follow us at Hooser Reason on all of those. Also, again, just make sure to check us out at HooserReason.com. Fill out the monthly news, or you can get the monthly newsletter. If you become a Hoosier-holic, it'll pop up and say, do you want to become a Hoosier-holic? You say, heck yeah, I do. And you can fill it out. It's free. Just type in your email address. We won't spam you all the time. We'll just give you a monthly email with a blog, some stuff coming up with the show, the latest with the Hooser Media Network, which, by the way, we're about to make an announcement with the Hooser Media Network on a new show that's going to be joining it. New podcast is, for those that don't know, the Hooser Media Network, really just a networking site, a social media website that we're getting up and getting functioning, along with potential streaming here soon for multiple different podcasts, just podcasting shows that want to try and networking, communicate with other people to talk about different things. It's not just political talk, but it's really whatever you want to. And we also do the audio and video production stuff for that as well. So a new show about ready to jump on there. Stay tuned in. We'll announce that here a little bit later as well. And we'll include some of that in our newsletter stuff as well. So go to HooserReason.com. Make sure to check out all the awesome goodies. Thanks again to George Santos coming on the show. We need to get that seat back. We need to. That is one that Peter King had held for a long time, it looks like, and flipped Democrat the midterm election in 2018. Overall in history, it's flipped kind of back and forth, and predominantly it was very low Democrat voter turnout. For whatever reason, in the midterms of last time in 2018, a big voter turnout for the Democrats, and they just got them riled up and they won it. We can take that one back. We need to take that one back. And if we can take a few of those back, then guess what? Nancy Pelosi ain't going to be talking about impeachment any longer, is she? Nancy Pelosi's not going to be, we're not going to care if she's going into a salon illegally and trying to get her hair done when she's not supposed to. We're not going to care about it. Why? Because she's not going to be in any form of power, and she can just fade off into the background again like she needs to be. So we need to flip that. See, again, go to georgeforny.com and you can donate. You can support him, listen to and look at his platform, what he supports, trying to bring conservatism back into the 3rd Congressional District for the great state of New York. And all our listeners in New York, go support him. Go knock on some doors. Go make some phone calls. Do whatever you can. Let's get him back into that seat and win that district back. All right, we have a lot to get to today, so let's go into our What's Trending Today, shall we?
What's trending today?
Well, I guess we should rephrase that of what should be trending today, because right now it's not what's trending. No news is talking about it. Nobody. Fox News ran a story on it earlier a little bit, but that's about it. That's about it. That's all they did. They didn't run a deeper story about it. They didn't do anything. They just ran one story. And the media trying to ignore it, putting on the blinders, saying, it ain't happening. This isn't happening. This isn't real. This isn't really going on. It's crazy. About 10 o'clock last night, I'm sitting at the house, going through social media, looking at shows, show prep, looking at stories, things that are happening. And I come across a tweet from Donald Trump. And yes, I do follow Donald Trump on there. And it's amazing. Where he comes out and he says that he has declassified all the information regarding the Russian hoax, the Russian investigation, the Hillary Clinton emails. All of it been declassified, open to the public to read. Now, why would he do that? If he's involved in any way, shape, or form in the conspiracy that he's connected to Russia and the Russian hoax and everything, if he's connected to it or if he's guilty in any way, shape, or form, why would he say he's going to declassify and release all of the information? All of it. There's nothing held back. There's nothing edited. There's nothing that's kept out. It's all public. Minutes after this comes out, everybody starts reading it. And posts start coming up on what's involved. And we've come to realize what you and I have been speculating and knew for a very long time was that the entire Russian collusion hoax was done by Hillary Clinton and the Democrats, where they said we don't want to be under investigation for our private email server and all the private emails that we've been sending out. We don't want that to be public and to be talked about right now. So we're going to collude. We're going to pay for the dossier. We're going to create this realm of lies, this web of lies, so to speak, to create some type of investigation to gear the attention towards Donald Trump, that he's colluding with Russia to manipulate the election to win in 2016. They didn't think it would actually work to create an actual investigation with the FBI. Say, oh, wait, they did. Because within those threads of emails that are now public, we have the heads of the CIA, we have the heads of the FBI, we have the Democrats, we have Hillary Clinton herself, we have Barack Obama, all involved. Saying, yeah, you know what? That's a great idea. Let's create an illusion to open up an investigation to keep the investigative groups, the FBI, CIA, whoever, from investigating us. We can investigate now Donald Trump. All the attention in the media, not towards the private servers of Hillary Clinton, but towards Donald Trump with the collusion of Russia. And unfortunately, every Democrat fell for it, and it's been an ongoing thing for the last 4 years. Now, all of it's released. All of it's public. All of it. Donald Trump was on fire last night, tweeting not only that, but many other things, because that's what Donald Trump does. All Russia hoax scandal information was declassified by me long ago. Unfortunately for our country, people have acted very slowly, especially since it's perhaps the biggest political crime in history of our country. Act, he said. Then he went on to say afterwards, and he was sharing a lot of posts as well from other people. Sources say declassified memo written after Obama briefed on Clinton plan to tie Trump to Russia. Obama knew about it. Craziness. Here's another one. They want to shut down the agencies. Shut those agencies down, according to Congressman Nunez, if Intel does not release smoking gun on Russian hoax. Then Donald Trump tweeted one bombshell. Clinton allegedly approved Russiagate falsehood as a distraction from email scandal. Donald Trump tweeted that one, or retweeted it, and said a disgraceful con artist. Charges anyone? Now, I've been saying this entire last few weeks. What are we going to expect with an October surprise? Maybe this is it. Maybe this could be. Now, the reason the media is not carrying this is because they know that it is so incriminating and damaging to the Democrats that Donald Trump has just won the election. He's won it. It's game over. Because we're going to educate everybody about this. The fact that every head of the CIA and the FBI was involved with this. The fact that the Clintons were involved. The fact that Obamas were involved. The fact that the Bidens were involved with Russia. You cannot say that we're going to distract by creating an illusion of collusion with Trump and with Russia while the Bidens are receiving millions of dollars from Russia. You can't do that. So now there's a tie. Now there's a link. In fact, there's been another story that was linked as well, showing that there's an open investigation currently going on with the Bidens in connection to the ties with the whole collusion of Trump and Russia, with them knowing about it while he's receiving millions of dollars. At the same time, Rudy Giuliani, the attorney for President Donald Trump, has come out and said Obama's CIA Director Brennan wrote in a handwriting that the Russian collusion allegation was created by Hillary Clinton. It's been covered up by the intelligence community for 4 years, and it's now being covered up by Democrat-owned press. From Rudy Giuliani. This is not conspiracy any longer. It's been speculated. Democrats think that, you can't conspire a whole bunch like that with a bunch of intertwined lies like that. It's what's simpler here. The fact that Trump just is trying to cover up a conspiracy to link Trump to Russia. Well, guess what? Now it's fact. And it's out there. When are the arrests going to happen? What I really enjoyed last night was that Donald Trump tweeted about all this and everybody went haywire with it. Then shortly afterwards, Donald Trump tweets, "I'm excited to debate Joe Biden next week on the debate stage." I mean, how crazy would it be if all of a sudden we turn around and he's like, "You're a liar, Joe Biden. Your son did receive $3.5 million from Russia. You actually knew about the attack on me against Russia. And by the way, they're here right now to pick you up live on the air while we debate to come and arrest you and take you away." How crazy. That wouldn't happen, but come on, a guy can dream, right? A guy can dream a little bit. But every Democrat, I'm telling you, you need to realize this is real. This is not hoax. This is not fake. This is not just trying to conspire. This is legit. This is all the actual hard facts. Now, you can either accept the hard facts and say, wow, you know what? My side is really corrupt. And, of course, Republicans aren't necessarily clean as well. We got to accept that. But the Democrats were desperate to keep Trump out. They wanted to keep Hillary Clinton safe and clean, squeaky clean from her with her email with her email server deal. So they created and conspired. And by the way, that is an act of treason. They spied on a private citizen during an election time. They tried to rig an election to try and link them to a foreign government that's kind of hostile to the American government to some degree. That is an act of treason. And the Clintons knew about it. The active president knew about it. The vice president knew about it. The CIA knew about it. The FBI knew about it. Everybody knew about it. Now, for you and I, we're like, yeah, okay, we've known this, Andy. But the fact that it's public now and there is hard evidence, what's the media going to do with that information? Right now, they're turning the blind eye. They're not even reporting it. Not even reporting it. It needs to get out all over the place. This is earth-shattering news. That half the government agencies and high officials tried to conspire to keep someone out of political office and spied and lied and created conspiracy against a private citizen at that time. And it's been ongoing from the media for the last 4 years. This is earth-shattering news, and no one wants to talk about it. It's no longer conspiracy, but it's now hard facts. We'll tell you how the media is responding to it when we come back. Plus, I want to get into tonight, obviously, it's a vice presidential debate as well. Kind of a big deal there, too. What are we going to expect from that one? We'll get into all that when we come back for the last few minutes here on a Wednesday on The Voice of Reason. Right here. Don't go anywhere.
The Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Hey, it's Andy Hooser. While you listen to the delightful broadcast of The Voice of Reason, don't forget to check us out and follow us on all of our social media sites. Whether you're using Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Minds.com, or Instagram, we're there for you. Find us at Hooser Reason on any of your social media platforms. You'll see special commentary, links to the articles and news that we use on the show, and videos of the broadcast. Plus, you can directly send us a message on social media during the show to let me know your thoughts. Many already do, and it's a great chat room for all of our great listeners. And you can always sign up for the Patreon site to get exclusive content, maybe hear show products before we air them on the radio, and a lot more. And when you support us on Patreon, you also help the show be able to fight for conservative values each and every day. So it's a win-win. Just find us at Hooser Reason on all of your social media platforms, or you can find a link to all of our social media sites on our website at HooserReason.com. We know you're on social media already, so bring some reason into your day. Why? Because it's kind of the reasonable thing to do. Miss part of the show? Don't worry about it. There's plenty of ways to catch the program, and here's how you can do it. First, make sure to tune in every day right here on your favorite radio station. We're here for you. Second, subscribe to the podcast on any of your favorite sites. YouTube and iTunes, Spotify and Google Play, TuneIn, Podbean, and more. Have the show automatically downloaded to your favorite device. Last, visit our website at HooserReason.com. You can listen to the podcast, catch our special features, and more. It's the Voice of Reason on radio, TV, and online, helping you defend and preserve this great republic. Hey, it's Andy Hooser. Want to reach out to the show? A big part of the program is you, and we want to hear from you. Let us know your thoughts of the show, maybe a guest we've had on the program, or my favorite, when you disagree with something that I talk about. You can email me at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com or send us a message through our website at HooserReason.com. The show's not about me, it's about you. So be heard and be your own voice of reason. Again, email me at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com or find our contact information at HooserReason.com.
Oh, hi. You know, conservative messages now are more important than ever before. Election season, state legislative issues, and a rise in the radical left socialist progressive agenda. What we really need now more than ever before is knowledge and wisdom. That's where we come in. Hi, I'm Andy Hooser with the Voice of Reason. And I'm your voice for reasonable talk, conservative commentary, great guests and entertainment on radio, TV, and the internet. It's time to bring some common sense back into the discussion. National issues, state legislative issues, no matter where you may be, upcoming elections, and a heck of a lot more, we can bring traditional values, constitutional principles, and local activism back. And here's what you can do. First, follow us on all the social media platforms at Hooser Reason. You can watch the live stream of the show, leave comments, and even call into the program. Second, make sure to subscribe to the podcast on all of your audio devices, from iTunes and Spotify to Google Play and TuneIn. Make sure to subscribe to have every episode automatically downloaded so you don't miss a single episode. Third, make sure to visit our website at HooserReason.com. You can catch our monthly blog talking about deeper discussions, see who's coming on the program, plus you can sign up for our free monthly newsletter to catch the latest on the show, monthly topics, upcoming interviews, and more. It's time to be that local activist again. That's what the Voice of Reason's all about. Why? Because that's kind of the reasonable thing to do. And it's time for you to speak up, speak out, speak loud, speak proud, speak the truth, and always speak some reason. Hey, miss a show? Don't worry about it. You have plenty of opportunities to watch, listen, learn, and be entertained with the Voice of Reason anytime you want. And here's how you can do it. First, become a Hooserholic by going to HooserReason.com and signing up for the show newsletter to get the latest on the show, upcoming guests, topical discussions, and more. Next, subscribe to the podcast and have the show automatically downloaded to any platform you like to use. You can subscribe through any of your favorite platforms with iTunes and Spotify, Google Play and TuneIn, or you can also go and subscribe directly to our Podbean website. Last, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Just go to youtube.com, search Hooser Reason, and subscribe to watch all of our shows, videos, and get notified whenever we're live. All the links and info are at HooserReason.com.
Hey, I hope you're enjoying the program today. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast on any of your favorite podcasting sites and have the show automatically downloaded to your phone or computer every single day. Just find us on any podcasting site or go to HooserReason.podbean.com. And be sure to check out our Patreon site, become the ultimate Hooserholic, and help us fight for conservative values every day. Why? Because it's kind of the reasonable thing to do. Now back to the national broadcast of the Voice of Reason.
You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
It's so crazy how fast this show goes. Welcome back into the show. Last couple minutes here on the program for a Wednesday today, halfway through the week. The pre-Friday, the post Monday. The weeks go by too fast. The days, the hour. Someone else says they're the fastest hour on radio. That's not true. It's this show right here. We are by far the fastest hour on radio. We got way too much to cover here. So, all right, now we have, again, and I don't try to talk about conspiracy theories. We entertain them. We enjoy them. And I'll tell you straight up, this is a conspiracy theory. Let's put on that conspiracy theory hat for a second and speculate. I don't do that. We try to talk about reason, facts, common sense, and just what's actually real in the world. This is now real. This is not conspiracy theory anymore. However, the media is saying, there's a story that came out according to thepolitico.com regarding this Russian collusion, declassified intel, as they tried to say, I love how they started off. Even as he recovers from a coronavirus case that left him hospitalized for days, President Donald Trump has intensified a late campaign effort to undermine the widely accepted evidence about Russia's election interference efforts in 2016. So he's sick with the virus, and now is his last-ditch effort because he's losing in the polls. He's desperate. He's scared he's going to lose office. That he's trying to undermine the widely accepted evidence. It's just common sense, everybody. It's common. He colluded with Russia. Common sense. Everybody knows it. You shouldn't question that. Going on down, some of the documents were released on Tuesday afternoon, including the heavily redacted notes from former CIA Director John Brennan. A second, also heavily redacted document released on Tuesday, a summary of the intelligence of the CIA prepared for the FBI, described as, quote, an exchange between unknown individuals regarding Hillary Clinton's approval plan of concerning U.S. presidential candidate Donald Trump and Russian hackers hampering U.S. elections as a means of distracting the public from the use of her private email server. Now, they say, according to Politico, the far-left news agency trying to discredit this information. This is all like internal investigation. Barr's been going on this for the last couple of years. Everybody's known that this is an open investigation that's still been going on, so apparently we can't trust it because we just need to ram it through and do an impeachment on President Trump because it is common sense. Common facts. Everybody knows about it. Here's what they say. Some Trump allies have framed this latest declassification push as an effort to question Russia's interference at all, but simply to question Trump's Russian collusion narrative that loomed over the White House for much of Trump's presidency. Republicans and Democrats, according to Politico, have previously rejected this Russian chatter as likely disinformation intended to deflect from Moscow's own hacking operation targeting the Democratic National Committee. So wait a second, let me get this right. We've rejected it. Republicans and Democrats have rejected this Russian chatter. It's not Russian chatter. It's text messages, emails, handwritten documents from our own agencies that admit it. But according to this, it's not true, it's a lie, and it's just Russian chatter to try and distract us. That's why the media is not covering it. It's a last-ditch effort from Trump to try and win back the election because he's losing in the polls so bad, and we don't want to talk about it because it's not true. So, to the point that they want to just put on the blinders and completely ignore it, and then when we force the issue, well, it's just not true. Just not true. It's Russian chatter. It's just a bunch of lies. Don't worry. Don't worry. These aren't the droids you're looking for. That's how crazy desperate they are to not talk about these issues. Instead, they want to talk about how in the Oval Office they're trying to get everybody to dress up in suits and in aprons and in masks and in goggles and everything because they're around the president who has COVID. And we should be very, very scared of that. Now, you could walk down the street from someone who may not even know they have the virus because they're asymptomatic and be walking near them, and you're just completely fine. But the president has the virus and he's feeling good, and you need to put on aprons and goggles and masks and just cause a whole crazy thing just to try and create fear in the hearts of everybody else. It's absolutely stupidly ridiculous. We'll talk more about that tomorrow. In the last few minutes, though, we have a vice presidential debate going on tonight. We'll recap it tomorrow on the show, which I am looking forward to doing. But my question to you is, what do you expect? I kind of expect a little bit of the opposite of what we saw with the presidential debates, as Kamala Harris, not the nicest person in the world, is probably going to be the that's going to be very distracting in this debate, where Mike Pence obviously is the calm, cool, collective kind of individual. So that's going to be nice. He's smart. He's intelligent. He's going to walk all over in the debate. She's going to be the one that's going to be a bit too aggressive. She's going to try and control and dominate the situation. And, of course, she's going to be sitting behind that plexiglass saying, I'm so scared of the virus. So we'll look forward to that one tonight. We'll recap that one tomorrow here on the show. Make sure to stay tuned in for that one. Until then, make sure to be your own voice of reason, because we need that in the world today. We need to bring the common sense, the sanity, the facts back into the world. Like this stuff that no one seems to want to talk about, but yet here we are doing it, trying to get that message out there. Until then, be your own voice of reason. It's time for you to speak up, speak out, speak loud, speak proud, speak the truth, and always speak some reason. This is the Voice of Reason, back at it tomorrow, same time, same place. We'll see you on the radio. Until then, everybody have a great Wednesday afternoon. Hey, it's Andy Hooser with the Voice of Reason. Fighting for conservative principles seems more difficult all the time. The progressive left seems to find new and creative ways to limit freedom, abuse power, and trample the Constitution each and every day. That's why we need the knowledge, resources, and common sense to push back, and we can help with that. Visit our website at HooserReason.com. There's some really great stuff for you. You can read the latest blog discussing topical issues and current events. Let us know your thoughts by filling out our monthly survey. Keep track of what I might be doing or where I may be speaking. Listen to the podcast of your favorite guest or show, and check out our latest Voice of Reason product infomercials. Plus, you can find upcoming show schedules and guest lineups to plan your radio listening appropriately. And finally, make sure to become a Hoosier-holic by subscribing to the free newsletter. Stay up to date on the latest news of the show, fun facts of the month, and learn new ways to defend and preserve this great republic. It's all there at HoosierReason.com. Again, HoosierReason.com. Go check it out. Why? Because it's kind of the reasonable thing to do.